It's nice to talk with someone who is on the other side of the world in real time. My life the past 30 years in 2 minutes. So I graduated from hotel management school in the Netherlands in 1990. The day of my final exam, I got on the train to France, worked there for 3 years, and made it to Asia in 1993. So I've worked in Indonesia, I've worked in Greater China. I was a hotel general manager for about 10 years, working with Accor and Intercontinental Hotels group. And at some point in my career, I was asked to open a hotel. I opened on time, on brand, and on budget, and that got me a corporate role with IHG in Greater China, where I was responsible for launching the first 20 Holiday Inn Express hotels. That got me into a bigger role with Wyndham Hotel Group, responsible for opening all hotels under all brands across all countries in Asia. And about 6 years ago, I founded Northside Consulting, which is a boutique firm that specializes in the tactical and strategic aspects of hotel opening processes. So there you go, the past 30 years.
Great. So for the past 6 years, you have your own business. Tell us more about what you have done in these past 6 years.
So we really are specializing on everything that happens before the hotel opens for paying customers. A good example of what I mentioned, the tactical aspects, is pre-opening assistance, which is where we work with the hotel owner, the developer, and the hotel general manager on managing the processes from 18 months before the hotel opens to the day of the opening. Make sure that the team is recruited, make sure that all the equipment and supplies are purchased, sales and marketing plan is developed and executed. So that's an example of tactical involvement. On a higher, more strategic level, for example, is we provide project life cycle management. And few people know this, but actually before the hotel opens, there are 15 phases that need to be completed in a sequential order, right? They involve business case development, feasibility study, but also architecture and interior design before we can even start to build. And no, we don't do architecture, we don't do interior design, but we do ask logical questions. For example, has this architect or interior designer ever done a beach resort in Thailand, right? Mm-hmm. And it's all about managing the interdependencies between the activities in those phases. Very much affected, in fact, because there are no more pre-opening projects. All that has come to a halt. So the focus of my activities actually has switched from traveling the region and assisting hotel openings to doing two things. And the first one is education. That was a very easy transition because I've been involved in education with hotel schools in the region for the past 5 years already. And all that is done online, so I can do that from my home in Macau. And the second one is that yes, there is a lot of economic hardship, and of course the hotel industry is not doing well, but that has created some opportunities as well. And I am actually assisting a client in the Philippines and another client in the United States with the acquisition of distressed assets. And of course, this is the right time to do the prep work, and you can do that from home as well. Mm-hmm. So first of all, a global travel. I mean, the Spanish flu of about 100 years ago did not end civilization. It is, of course, the current situation is not a short crisis like SARS. It really follows the path, it looks like the Spanish flu. But this is not the end of travel. Similar after 9/11, travel did stop for a short while. New security measures were in place. A little bit of inconvenience, of course, because now you needed to check in 3 hours instead of 2 hours before takeoff, but business did rebound. And I think that for the travel industry, measures will be put in place. Stuff like arriving at the airport with a test that you tested negative in the past 24 hours, contactless check-in, etc. So travel will come back with just a little bit more inconvenience, I would say. Now, big difference though between business travel and leisure travel. Business travel, I think that a lot of people have actually found out how easy it is to have a meeting or a conference via Zoom. and that for a 1-hour business meeting for me to go to Singapore, I lose 2 entire days, as where I could be speaking with someone and still be home for dinner, right? Leisure travel, I do think leisure travel will bounce back faster because people are just very sick and tired of being at home and frustrated. It's a claustrophobic feeling, right? If you're locked in a house or in a neighborhood for 5, 6, or 8 months. So there is a desire for people to go out. And of course, humans are social animals. They want to mingle with other guests and and the hotel staff. So the hard reset, we already spoke about that. What is going to happen in terms of all those hotel projects? But I think it is going to be a little bit more far-reaching than what we have seen. It's not just about looking at what are the hotels that really have a business case. I do think that this is the time that governments and lenders are going to step in and mandate the use of project management, right? Typically, our industry only makes major changes when forced to. And right now, before a lender will invest in a new hotel project, or before a local government would approve a new hotel project, they would probably mandate that the projects with limited resources, because of course capital is not going to be given that easily, that as an added insurance that money is going to put to work properly, project management will be mandated in new hotel projects. Before the crisis, so to speak, there were 15,000 new hotel projects in the global development pipeline. And about that is good for about 2.45 million hotel rooms. Now, if you ask me, was there a business case for each and every of those 15,000 hotels? I don't think so. I think that probably half of those were done because of return on ego and not return on investment. So there will be a hard reset and there will be a washdown. For the remaining projects, of course, there will still be new hotels, but there will be a reset there as well. A similar example of a reset was a couple of years back when China was going through some internal challenges, that the president actually said, okay, from now on, government officials, when they go out for a meal, they can only have 3 main courses and a soup. And that had a tremendous impact on hotels, because a lot of the entertainment of government officials was done in 5-star hotels, right? So at that moment, there was a reset, and a lot of new projects were actually reconfigured from, let's say, 5-star, 4-star to 4-star and 3-star. What I think is going to happen now as well is that developers of hospitality real estate projects are going to look harder at what is it that the market wants and what is it that the market can afford. That's a difficult one to predict, of course, but really what I personally feel is that there is a lot of wishful thinking going on, like we are going to reopen anyway, or we'll start reopening hotels, we don't need airlines. We've heard the slogans. Of course, I hope that this is going to happen sooner rather than later, because I depend on demand for new projects to start, right? But we do need to be realistic. And so far, every time that there have been attempts to open states or cities and hotels, very quickly, COVID outbreak spiked again, and they had to take drastic measures again in order to curb those numbers, right? So what I don't see at the moment is a number of events that indicate that we are close to a solution or close to a positive outcome, a turn in events. Realistically speaking, I don't think that I will be able to travel regionally until Chinese New Year 2021, which is January, February. And in terms of international travel, convenient and safe, another 12 months from today. And that is realistic, because right now I could still get out of Macau via Taipei, but upon return to Macau, if they would let me in, if nothing changes, it would be 2 weeks in quarantine. So again, for a 1-day site inspection somewhere, to 2 weeks in quarantine is just not practical, is it? I don't have a crystal ball, Theo, but one thing that I do want to point out is that, yes, in the short and medium term, this is going to hurt. However, if hotels are going to be out of business permanently, the big question, of course, is should those hotels have been built in the first place? And if you look, let's take Bali as an example, right? Bali is hurting right now. Even if business does come back, a number of hotels, I fear, will not reopen. But if you look at Bali and the evolution of supply and demand, there is a current oversupply of hotels, and they keep on building, even though a decade ago it was already indicated you need to stop building because you're not attracting more customers. All you're doing actually is attracting customers that are spending less, right? So what is happening right now? Is that because of the crisis, or is the crisis actually only accelerating something that was inevitable? That Bali as a destination where hotels are being built without proper business case and feasibility, that has been rampant, that situation. And I think that is one of the issues in specific destinations.